Did you happen to see what's going on in the whole Oklahoma Sooner fan community?
Man, I can't keep up.
In the whole Oklahoma Sooner state, Dan.
Yeah. So we had the Governor Stitt, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Take a brief shot at like who would ever move from Norman, Oklahoma to Southern California.
He did that, by the way.
Riley. Yeah.
On the floor of the state assembly during the State of the State address. Mm-hmm. Great state of Oklahoma in this case.
Can you imagine leaving a place like Norman, Oklahoma for Southern California? I mean, who would do that? You'll get that in a minute.
Yeah.
We got that pretty quick, Governor Stitt.
He's a Polk, by the way. He's an Oklahoma State alum, but he knows who votes in the Sooner State. It's not the Cowboy State. It is the Sooner State.
The focus groups definitely handed him that one in a manila envelope.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's playing well on the TBOW train. You can look that one up in your college football comment threads. The Oklahoma Sooner community we joked on our Olivia Rodrigo themed show. Go and look that one up.
Sure.
Just still not really taking the Lincoln Riley thing all that well. And I get it. Look, this is the world in which we live. It's college football. It's tribal. There is animosity. It seems as if this one's been taken a little bit harder than most. Not saying it's without reason, but for sure, the fact that we're talking about it now is notable. Lincoln Riley, for his part, sort of taking veiled shots back. Quote, we didn't take players from Oklahoma. We took players from the transfer portal.
Right.
Once a player gets in a portal, they are open to any school in the country. We'd be crazy not to look at it and now help our football team. Quote, these are guys we recruited. We got to know their families. All of a sudden, they were enough for us to take at Oklahoma, but now we would not give them a chance just because we're at a new spot. That part never really made sense to me. These are players we feel like can help our program to get to where it needs to be, end quote, Lincoln Riley. Not taking guys from Oklahoma. No. Caleb Williams is in the transfer portal. We had nothing to do with Oklahoma.
Right.
We're just sort of doing what we need to do to extricate him from said portal, which is a little bit like limbo in Inception. Trying to bring him back amongst us here in the college football ranks, Dan.
Yeah, it's all interesting, and we've had this conversation before where the method by which a coach or representatives of a school could reach out to people who could be in contact with players and having conversations along the lines of, look, we're not recruiting so-and-so, but if so-and-so happen to find themselves in the portal, perhaps in a different world, we'd be interested. And so Lincoln Riley and Lincoln Riley's no different than college football coaches across the country, of course. It's a new thing because I can't think of another instance in which a top flight college football coach leaves a top flight program and that quarterback with top flight potential who is starting for said program decides to follow him to new program. That's new. And so the emotions that Oklahoma fans feel, to me, are pretty justified.
Sure.
Because they are in a new place within the sport, and they are squarely in that new place. And I'm not going to tell you that Notre Dame fans, at least until the Marcus Freeman hire, didn't feel similar things about Brian Kelly, because Oklahoma and Notre Dame are not places that coaches voluntarily leave. So that's also kind of new and novel. And I'm not going to tell you that Oregon fans, perhaps myself included, don't feel the same way about Mario Cristobal voluntarily leaving, especially after Willie Taggart left voluntarily a few years ago, that Oregon fans are loud and saying, oh, we're better off with Dan Lanning. I don't know what we are. I don't know. Dan Lanning's never been a head coach. Brent Venables has never been a head coach. And so there's a lot of...
I've never, ever been happier.
To not just Oklahoma.
Is that
fans.
Euphoria? What is that?
That is from Sydney Sweeney, by the way. Having herself I don't know if you watched White Lotus, but she's also on Euphoria. She's popping as an actress. Her career is popping. So Yeah, still a lot of unbridled emotions online, offline with Lincoln Riley. And look, again, what he is doing. And I don't know if people use this strategy in relationships because Valentine's Day still is coming up at the time we're recording this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did this with Kate. I didn't do this with Jody. And I don't know if you know people who have done this where if you are interested in somebody, but they themselves are attached to somebody else, does anybody let it be known to a mutual friend? Look, I'm not asking Jessica out. All I'm saying is if she were to find herself as a single woman, I could see myself becoming interested.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure people have floated that and it's worked. I don't have experience doing it, but I kind of admire the strategy that instead of trying to go after somebody who is taken, saying to a mutual party, look, I hope she's happy, but if she's not and considering, there could be a world in which we go get dim sum sometime soon. I admire that. I admire that tact. It's sleazy for sure.
Yeah.
But there is a certain amount of charm to it.
There is.
Unless you are losing Caleb Williams. Yeah.
This is a world built on plausible deniability.
Yeah.
And especially in college football, especially as it relates to the coaching carousel, apparently now as it also relates to the transfer portal. So I, for one, am thrilled that we have arrived at this brave new world where Oklahoma fans will be sniping at Lincoln Riley forevermore. Right. I don't expect this is going to go away anytime soon.
No.
And I hope that Oklahoma fans understand I'm not trying to say that at their expense, but at the end of the day, you and I run a podcast. We are in the content business. It is February. And dog, let me tell you, we don't always have news topics to talk about. We don't always have scandalous things at this juncture to talk about. So at least on that level, I am very happy that this little blood feud, if you will, is now a thing in the college football ether. Yeah.
And you know what? I love where Oklahoma's heading. I don't blame Oklahoma fans for being excited over a new direction and have a defensive-minded head coach. And you bring in Ted Roof, who, he'll wear some polos. And
Ted Roof.
No,
we're trying to make him feel better. Don't talk about Ted Roof.
But Dylan Gabriel comes in like maybe the greatest consolation quarterback prize of all time, given the emotions that are happening in Norman right now. And so, look, this is just a new reality that probably most off seasons we're going to find ourselves with fan bases saying,
I've never, ever been happier.
There is a world in which Dylan Gabriel wins the Heisman.
Yeah. Oh, at least outperforms Caleb Williams at USC. Sure.
It's a very plausible world in which Dylan Gabriel goes nuts and wins the Heisman.
Yeah.
And I am here for that content.
It's kind of,
I am here for that.
In the universe of NIL, it's kind of an equivalent conversation to when, NFL fans or baseball fans or NBA fans are like, would you rather have this player at $8 million or this star at $44 million? You're like, ooh, would you rather have Dylan Gabriel and Jeff Lebby or Caleb Williams without an offensive line? Like, it's one of those, like if you are an Oklahoma fan, you kind of can have that. You can bring up that question among your peers. And I like that. That's great.